In 1991, with questions swirling about the toughness of his game and the substance of his character, a stronger, more mature Andre Agassi returned to the All-England club. Surprisingly, he played well that year, reaching the quarterfinals. The next year, armed with a newfound confidence, a 21-year-old Agassi returned to Wimbledon.
First match, he got into some trouble. Son of a gun, before we knew it, in the quarters.
He was able to knock off Becker in the quarters in 5 sets. Follow it by beating McEnroe. He's knocking off a pair of great champions there.
Determined to erase his loser label as a 3-time Grand Slam runner-up, Agassi approached the Wimbledon final against the hard-serving Goran Ivanisevic with the odds against him.
The general expectation was that Ivanisevic, because of his tremendous serve and the way he played on grass, would just roll over Agassi with no problem.
Grass was never something I believed I could do great on anyhow, so to be there was a thrill. I literally went out there thinking, in a matter of hours, I'll be on a plane home. Let's just let it fly.
Playing loose and free, Andre won 2 of the first 3 sets. But on the strength of his dominating serve, Ivanisevic evened the match, sending it to a decisive 5th set.
It was the set of his life. You come down to a 5th set at Wimbledon, it's most likely the set of anybody's life, but particularly for Andre, because he had lost these major championships before.
Nothing but knots from middle of my stomach to the top of my head.
At that point, the tennis court seemed to him like it was full of landmines. I sensed the pressure.
15 I felt every ace that came down the pike.
Game. Ivanisevic.
People used to wait for him to fail. That was a big pastime among the sports writers at that time.
I realized during that match that I needed to relax and feel the inspiration of that zone of just thinking about nothing except every point.
With his new purpose and resolve, Agassi finally broke through.
Total shock and disbelief. Andre Agassi in tears has won Wimbledon.
It felt like such a relief because this is why you play. This is what you're here for. But in a sense, I was just amazed that I had done it.
When I look at that, I still get tears in my eyes because I just felt so much for him. It was such a pressure release. And it was a great moment for the people that love and care about him.
It was the culmination of their family's hard work, dreams that Mr. and Mrs. Agassi had.
He was by far the best player not to have won a major when he finally broke through at Wimbledon.
He was authenticated in the tennis community. They knew that for the rest of his life he was a champion, a Grand Slam champion.
In winning Wimbledon, Agassi not only fulfilled his father's dream, he silenced his many doubters. More important, he finally seemed ready to reach the lofty expectations of his early days. But 1993 brought 2 major setbacks that affected his game and his world ranking. The first was physical, a debilitating wrist injury that threatened to end his career. The second was emotional, a split from his longtime coach, Nick Bollettieri.
Andre was growing up and becoming his own man and making a lot of his own decisions, and that dynamic between Nick and Andre was changing.
To Bollettieri, the writing was on the wall. More and more, Andre was relying on his lifelong friend and confidant, Perry Rogers, to help him make decisions both off the court and on. Sensing he was about to be pushed, Bollettieri jumped, resigning abruptly in an impersonal letter.
I don't know what got into me. You don't take 11 years and put it in a letter. He's like my second son, man. That was not very nice. If I had actually told Andre Agassi how I felt, I'd still be with Andre some way today. He just would never let me go in a fashion that I let him go.
With Bollettieri no longer his coach, 23-year-old Andre Agassi reacted quickly and filled the void with former colleague Brad Gilbert, who turned out to be just what he needed.
Brad Gilbert was able to transplant his brain into Andre's head, which was a wonderful combination because Brad was a player that did not have the natural gifts that Andre possessed.
Interesting enough, I found myself knowing nothing about the game that I was good at, and I think Brad helped me mentally in a lot of ways.
Getting himself in better shape, taking his diet seriously, taking his profession seriously. You just can't downplay how important that was for Andre because he was playing just on instinct. And Brad really put a lot of thoughtfulness into Andre's game.
His game headed in the right direction. Andre also found love when he began a relationship with model and actress Brooke Shields. In a celebrity union worthy of mass media attention.
Brooke told me once that they had a wonderful feeling for one another because both had to grow up in public, and that's not easy.
Hopefully they're your best friend, and he for sure is that.
Andre is really just an average American kid, and I think Andre was starstruck by Brooke Shields.
Maybe it's the eyes taking over the body.
She was a big Hollywood star, and Andre was like, hey, I get to date a movie star. Isn't it great being Andre Agassi?
With his new personal and professional relationships, Agassi seemed rejuvenated. He won the 1994 U.S. Open as an unseeded player and continued his remarkable run by winning the 1995 Australian Open, his third major championship. By early September, he was riding a 26-match winning streak and looking to repeat as U.S. Open champion. At 25, Andre Agassi had reached the pinnacle of his sport with one of the world's most recognizable and beautiful women by his side.